Hey y'all, we're on week 3 of season 4 of the Andy Griffith Show. Ernest T. Bass joins the Army is our episode title this week. Barney, what's going on?
Andy and I are on patrol in the squad car, and we come out on a fight on the sidewalk. It's between Ernest T. Bass and the guys that are standing in line for the Army recruiter. And it turns out that Ernest T. had tried to break in line, and now he's dancing around saying he wants to join up too. And Andy goes up to the Army recruiter, and he tries to tell him in private that Ernest T. wouldn't be good for the Army, because he's nothing but a troublemaker. And I say he's nothing but a nut. But the Army recruiter says that's okay. The Army knows how to handle guys like that.
So you all say, okay, it's up to you. And you go off to lunch, and Ernest T. waits in line. But once he gets in the Army recruiting office, he just takes nothing seriously at all. He jumps around, he jokes around to such an extent that the guy finally says, okay, you're out of here. We don't want you. And that makes Ernest T. really mad. He says he's going to get everyone back for this, including that sheriff.
And Andy and I come back from lunch, and in the courthouse, I find out that Andy left a quarter tent after I had already took down a quarter. And I say, well, Andy, didn't you see me took a quarter down? That was supposed to be for the both of us. That's just throwing money away. And then that Army recruiter comes in the courthouse, and he tells us that he did turn down Ernest T. after all. And he tells us that made Ernest T. real mad. He started making threats, and he broke a window, and then while we're all standing right there, Ernest T. breaks the window of the courthouse with a rock. And this rock has got a note on it saying this is all Andy's fault, and Ernest T. is going to break every window in the state to get even. And I say, well, you never can tell what that nut might do. I think we ought to throw a dragnet over the whole town, form a posse, and throw a dragnet. What do you think?
And then you'll start getting calls on the phone about Ernest T. breaking a street light, and then breaking one store window, then breaking another store window, and you know by the addresses that he's coming towards you. So you go outside and wait on him.
And I go out and I see him and I say, all right, in the name of the law, I order you to surrender. And Andy comes behind him, and then the two of us get him in jail for the night. But the next morning, I see Ernest T. Bass in the diner while I'm getting breakfast. And I yell, Bass, what are you doing here? How did you get out? All right, who got the spare key out of the desk for you? You're going right back in that cell. Reach, move, out that door, come on.
And you call Andy at home and tell him what happened, and he says, come right by now and pick me up. So you do that, and you pull up to the courthouse after you pick him up, and you see that Ernest T. is out again, breaking windows again.
And he runs off, and we go chasing him, but we lose him. But later he comes out with a rock in his hand when he sees the new glass of the courthouse being delivered, and so I jumped in front of it to protect it, but I break it instead on accident with my gun. And then Ernest T. runs away and puts himself back in the jail cell.
And he's just going to keep on with his revenge until he gets his uniform. And you'll find out, it turns out that's all he wanted in the first place, is a uniform. He didn't want to really join the Army. He just wants a uniform to attract girls.
So Andy makes me give him my deputy uniform, and he puts it on, and he goes on home.
Thank you all for watching. We'll see you next week for episode 4.